Captivated by the dust floating in the sunlight along the windowsill, I stare blankly towards the scene outside as the spring leaves flutter on the trees outside. The singing of birds in the distance bringing a subtle melody into this otherwise silent room. With such a state of tranquility right at my doorstep, it'd be wrong not to delve in thought with such a benign opportunity to do so now present. It's the same old story that's been weaved into my life the past week. The story of two girls' lives in turmoil, as their hearts both bleed with regrets over past mistakes and misunderstandings. All I can do is question my own position in this story, having constantly been looking in as a bystander. What am I to gain out of the situation? A newfound friendship with the two of the school's most famous girls? It's hard to know whether that's what I really wanted. Having been given an outlet to pursue some kind of aspiration, I can't help but feel Occam's razor itself shave away at my own situation as I ponder my own reasoning. I'm with them because I like them. It's that simple. Knowing this, the desire to continue my friendship with both is unquenchable as I stare back at my own reflection in the window as the sun continues to set. Maybe this is what I've been looking for all along. Mulling over the time I spent with them, the thought of getting to know these girls' true selves over such a brief span of time is a bewildering one. Having thought of Kyoko as a meek, shy girl engrossed in learning, to only have it shattered by her energetic personality was shocking itself. Now, here I am coming to know Naomi as something similar beneath her brash outward personality. What's true, however, is that both these girls are still connected by their bonds. Both still cherish them. Naomi herself being the first to confess to the pain and the regret surrounding what had really happened between the two. Seeing her sorrowed face made me realize what it is really wanted to do all this time. I wanted to help her. I wanted to make her happy. Having gone such lengths to skip class and prepare lunch for me, really that makes me see her in a new light. My heart itself choked by newfound feelings held back by the bondage of my own restraints. To think such a girl could have wanted to hurt Kyoko is impossible. Which is why seeing her resolve to approach her once again is not only breathtaking, but captivating. As my thoughts continue to well in my mind, the rigid wood of the chair meets my back as I stretch the stiffness out of my muscles. The evening light continues to seep through the windows before me, lighting up my personal sanctuary dimly as I once again stare towards nature's canvas beyond me. With the sounds of nature resonating from outside, the state of tranquility is soon disrupted with chimes from my pocket as my phone shakes about inside. I guess answering it will give me something to do. Staring at the screen as the phone continues to ring, the absence of any recognizable name is more than enough to pique my wavering interest. Besides Naomi and Kyoko, I can't imagine anyone else who'd call me at this hour. One swift tap on the screen is all that I'll take to find out. Hello?
Is this the Pizza Palace?
Pizza Palace? What kind of name is that?
Wait, is this who I think it is?
Chitose? From class?
I didn't know you worked at Pizza Palace.
I don't. You're on my cell. Frankly, I'd argue the term cell phone is becoming dated. Yet right now I can hardly consider it a major concern. On the other end of the line is one of my classmates, who I fondly recall calling me a loser.
I must have typed it in wrong. Anyway, I haven't got time for this. Have fun with Kyoko.
Wait. Chitose remains on the line, now permeating with a brief moment of silence. What's your problem with her? Ever since her scathing attacks against me, I can't help but think about Kyoko's own relationship with our classmates. Having seen the extent of which the rumors surrounding her have gone, it's something I can't stop myself from asking.
I don't have one. It's just... You've heard the rumors, right? How could someone like her show up the rest of the team by cheating? Someone like her doesn't deserve to be by now.
Nah. Naomi. I can't really consider that surprising. Given her popularity, it's not unreasonable that such speculation surrounding the relationship has ignited the flames of gossip ever since that race. If people truly think Kyoko cheated, Naomi's diehard fans surely have something to say about it. Chitose must be one of them.
It's nothing. Just... I'll see you in class tomorrow. Probably.
Falling to silence once again, our call ends with nothing but confusion lingering within the depths of my mind. It's strange to think how much influence two fairly ordinary girls have over the rest of the students in the school. Chitose probably likes Naomi. Many people do. It's a feeling I can't understand. Regardless, as the evening sky continues to fade into darkness, exhaustion itself catches up with me as I once again crack my joints and stretch. With a new day ahead, anticipation for the future swells in my heart as the rhythmic path of my life continues in some undefined direction. No matter what lies before me, there's no doubt in my mind that it'll be interesting. Maybe I can convince Naomi to make me lunch again. With the end of the day bell chiming methodically once more, a familiar sound breaking apart the silence of the room. Our day is brought to an official end with a few departing words from the teacher.
I want you all to have finished this by next week. A procrastinating populace damages the country, you know.
In retrospect, I should probably submit a formal apology to the local prefectural office for all the harm I caused. Finishing his sentence with his own sigh of relief, the class burst out into chorus as conversations and gossip re-emerged from the hearts of my classmates. Words and thoughts inhibited by the school routine, now out in the wild once more. As the afternoon light seeps from through the glass windows of the room, I can't help but think how predictable the scenario really is. Ending my day with the warmth of the sun caressing my cheeks as I ponder how to approach the small brunette bundle of energy sitting at the front of the room. The girl known as Kyoko Ishikawa.
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
There's a new show on. I really want to watch it.
You sure? You know we have midterms soon, right?
What's the point? We all know who's going to top them.
Listening to the passing gossip as I make my way towards Kyoko's chair, can't help but agree with the voices passing through the cluttered sound of the room. Yet I can't help but feel she'd be disappointed if I didn't put some effort in either.
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
I don't know. Why do you care?
But you're supposed to study.
Or at least, something like that. As people before me weave out and around desk towards the door, I find myself skirting through my classmates to finally approach Kyoko's desk. At the end of the day, it's another trip to the science club. Despite things starting to come to a close, a sinking feeling tugs at the bottom of my heart, dragging it further down into a sea of thought I can't escape from. Until Naomi decides to approach Kyoko, all I can do is ride this wave of tranquility and enjoy my time with her without involving myself in their relationship. You excited for the club?
What?
Turning her head sharply to face me, a jolt of surprise rushes through Kyoko as she shakes back in her seat, eyes widening with fright. What's wrong?
Nothing. I was just about to ask you that. That's all.
You didn't even know I was here.
Before I turned around, you could have been. It's a quantum superposition.
What?
You're either behind me or not until I check.
Once again, a communications barrier between me and little Miss Einstein. Regardless, as she stands before me complacently with her rosy cheeks puffed out and pout, I can know for sure that she's proud of herself.
You're excited though, right?
Yeah, sure.
Great, let's go.
Stepping out from her desk, Kyoko looks towards me with a grin plastered on her cute face, an adorable sight of friendship lighting up the room. At least metaphorically. Given the time we spent together, I can't help but cherish the sight of her smile. In contrast to the woes she's been carrying all too long, I can only pray that things go well with Naomi. She rats her hair behind her back, stroking it gently as it frays out beautifully, like a chocolate fountain. She lifts her head up, peering briefly towards me before breaking contact once again. Taking the step forward, Kyoko joins me at my side as we venture out together into a crowded corridor.
Finally, we get to go home. I hate economics.
What happened to your basketball training?
That? Oh, right. Well, skipping a day can't hurt, can it?
Listening to intermittent chatter as I wade through the crowds of Kyoko, my mind turns to a state of thought as the girl to my side remains in her own silent trance. A girl captivated by the mysteries of the world, prodding them with her inquisitivity, looking out for results. For a scientist, she certainly prioritizes fun over actual knowledge. I'm not sure what she gets out of doing our experiments besides the thrill of possibly burning the school down. Such a thought makes me ponder where her profound energy was directed before she joined the club, before she was kicked off the track team. When she was with Naomi instead of me. The thought of her dark hair rustling from the speed of her sprinting down the track, adorned in traditional bloomers and shirt. She doesn't seem like a spatch type of girl. Yet, as much as she seems to want to cherish the time she spent with Naomi, taking the final steps to bring them together is no longer in my hands. Catching glimpses of Kyoko's cheerful expression, reflected from the glass panes scurried down the corridor, a calm feeling washes over me. A sense of solidarity. Despite the troubles in her school life, she skips cheerfully down the corridor with a smile adorned on her cute face, no real care in the world. Inside she's hurt, yet somehow content with the life she's living, happy she can rummage through her heart to find some kind of fun in her daily life. Arriving at the labs, Kyoko returns towards me, her brunette lock of hair gliding through the air as she now faces me. Happiness coating her face, her lips curled up into a smile as a rosy bloom caresses her cheeks. It's this image which has kept me here.
We're here.
I know that. Do you need a hand setting up stuff up today? With time itself continuing to pass, I had to at least engage myself in the club activities at some point.
Yeah. I'd really like that. We need the Bunsen burners and the measuring cylinders. I'll get the beakers.
Haphazardly lifting her lab coat from a nearby chair and squeezing into it, Kyoko makes her way to a set of drawers at the far end of the room, squatting down to find the beakers. Despite being a sight, I can't ignore the task handed down to me. Gripping the slender handles of a nearby cupboard, I scout out the rest equipment as Kyoko hums diligently in the background. Living like this, it's not at all bad.
Could you get some universal indicator? I'll handle the more serious stuff.
Given a track record, rending her clothes and blasting the room with a blitz of smoke, you'd think I'd be the one trusted with the hazardous stuff. Yet as clumsy as she is, Kyoko's intellect far outmeasures my own. I can't even tell the difference between a compound and a molecule. Sure. As time washes over us, I continue onwards watching Kyoko frantically scurry around the room as she continues setting up a makeshift experiment. Each time we come here, things continue to get more and more complex as she maintains the same upbeat smile on her face. Lips curled up in joy as they glisten in the ever-seeking sun as afternoon turns to evening.
I think I need a break. I'm thirsty.
What about the experiment?
I can do that later. I really want some juice.
What happened to that drink for intellectuals you had before?
School doesn't sell them. And I drink the rest.
Sure that's good for you.
Of course. But juice is even better. You want some?
I'm okay, thanks.
But we could share some.
I'll think about it. Looking towards me with a wry smile, Kyoko walks back towards the door as she unsheathes herself from the lab coat. Regardless of her wearing it, I can't help but find her cute. Her behavior channeling her inner well of eccentricity as she bursts out each sentence joyfully. From the outside, nobody would think she'd be carrying so much pain. Finishing off by running her fingers through her hair, Kyoko gestures towards the door as we make our way out into the corridor once again. I do on a journey to quench our thirst, but it's not as if I'm particularly thirsty. Yet as Kyoko sways her arms by her sides as we stroll down the now empty halls, I can't help but appreciate that this reality has become routine. Pushing the doors to the cafeteria open, the two of us walk inside, greeted by a state of silence as the room remains as empty as the corridors. I guess at this time of day, what with people either in clubs or at home, we can actually cherish each other's company a little bit more than usual.
Do you want a juice? I'll buy you one.
Once again peering towards me with a beam, Kyoko's cheeks remain mildly flustered as she anticipates my response. Her faint breathing still noticeable amidst the silence, her mouth ajar as she tries to capture herself within our awkward state. I'm okay. If I'm thirsty, I'll just have a sip of yours.
That's good with me. But you're my friend. I want to buy you one. You've stuck with me. You haven't quit the club. That's more than I can ask for.
Eyes now facing the floor with a sad expression still visible on her delicate face, can't help but feel bad for not accepting her offer. She clearly wants to make something up to me, despite not owing me a cent. If you insist, I'll have I'll have a soda.
Not an orange juice? That's my favorite.
I'm not a kid.
High school students can enjoy juice too.
With a pout, Kyoko lifts her arms to her chest in rejection of my stance. Eyes fixed towards my own with some kind of emotional dissonance as she continues to breathe heavily in anger. Maybe you can. You're pretty childlike after all.
I'm not. I'm a mature woman.
Moving my eyes down slowly, I can't really think of any part of her that could be called mature. Showing her back to me with a mock detest, Kyoko approaches the vending machine almost timidly as she looks around for our drinks.
There it is.
Slapping the button with enthusiasm, small can is quickly grabbed by the machine and falls down to the slot below, shortly followed by another. The prior discontent on her face now gone as she turns back towards me with a grin, extending out my soda in fervent splash.
Here.
Thanks. Turning her side towards me, Kyoko looks away sheepishly as she opens the seal to her juice, placing her lips against the rim as she gently takes sip after sip. As we idle at the side of the hall, it doesn't take long for us both to finish our drinks as the sun ever looms through the windows, marking a makeshift signal that time has probably passed a little too much. Yet, I don't see either of us having a problem with that. Engrossed in our own company, the two of us walk leisurely towards the doors, prolonging our time together as the club comes to an end. The experiment we were supposed to have done now at the back of our minds. The single clank of my can hitting the bottom of the trash bin being the only sound calling out as the two of us bask in each other's company. No words needed as we happily make our way back down the corridor. Slicing through the rays of sunlight, warmth greets my skin with evening now settling in. Kyoko and I, side by side, making our way back to the labs to finish our day off. A state of silence, bar the typical idle sounds throughout the school, remains unbroken as we continue our approach towards the club. Our footsteps were maintaining steady percussion without any particular melody to support. No real direction, but not being lost either. Taking one last look to my side, a very familiar smile stays upon Kyoko's face. Her cheeks rosy in the setting sun, lights flickering in her chestnut eyes, she looks on without any real direction of her own. I'd hardly asked about her ambition, her dream, still without paying much attention to my own. The thoughts of the future now faded as a new routine bloomed within the present. A blossom of activity flowering in my day-to-day life. That in itself is acceptable for now.
Did you have fun today?
But all we did was get drinks. We didn't do that experiment.
Did you have fun today?
In a way, spending time with her is still fun. Yeah, I did.
Good.
Joyfully skipping along, Kyoko lags behind as I approach the door to lab. The door, left slightly ajar, lets out the light from inside as sound footsteps stops behind me. You left it open, right?
What? No. Why would I do that?
I don't know. Just in case someone showed up wanting to join? Taking a step forward, Kyoko remains behind me as I look through the thin gap into the room. In all honesty, I wouldn't have been surprised if it were a teacher inside. Yet the sight that greets my eyes certainly is a surprise. A flowing lock of auburn hair, a pure white shirt and skirt slightly ruffled by the breeze from an open window. A slight glint of sweat against her skin as she idles at a nearby desk, arms crossed characteristically as her eyes face down towards the floor. Naomi. Taking no heed at my presence, she continues to aimlessly look around the lab as she stands complacently waiting for presumably our return. She must have known we left. A glum look coats her face as she turns away to peer towards another part of the room. A visible look of nervousness as her faint shaking ruffles the cuffs of her shirt.
Is anyone there?
I'm not sure. Keeping my voice low, Kyoko works her way around behind me, the side Naomi still obscured by my back. The presence of Naomi is a clear indication she wants to sell things now, to overcome the issues in the past and rebuild the bonds between them. Yet somehow, having been involved in this too, a mutual feeling of nervousness works its way through my body.
Let's go inside. If anyone's there, we can greet them.
Squeezing her way past me, the warmth of her body contrasts against the chill flowing down my spine as Naomi turns her head to face us, a melancholic look shifting into one of shock. Despite having grown close to Naomi, I didn't expect to bear witness to redemption in person. I didn't expect her to want me to see this. A silence spans the room. The two girls continue gazing inquisitively towards the other. Both of their faces progressing slowly and slowly towards woe as the other's presence begins setting in. With Naomi's expression stuck in a mix of sad and embarrassed, Kiko's own begins to turn into one of sullen resentment as she steps forward, uncharacteristically taking the first steps to speak up.
What are you doing here?
I just wanted to say something.
My own emotions riled, nervousness filling my heart as the situation begins to unfold. Naomi's own voice remains composed as Kyoko glares towards her, almost in anger. The chains of her past breaking as the pain inside her sets free. A girl usually cheerful, energetic, and happy, now resenting the person standing before her. The source of her suffering.
What is there to say?
Anger seeping from her voice. Kyoko remains frozen as Naomi fidgets timidly with her hair, her eyes locked to the floor. Never would I have imaged such a complete personality swap.
I wanted to talk to you.
Catching a glimpse of Kyoko's pain as she briefly turns to me, my own interpretation of the situation, she continues forward as the emotions inside her spiral out of control.
Really? You want to talk? After what you did? You want to talk?
I want to do something about this. I want them both to be happy. But as much as I've been there for them, this is something they should decide on their own. Knowing I'm involved with shattered Kyoko's heart, yet bringing them this moment was a risk I had to take. The passion in Naomi's heart convincing me that she's not a bad person. Regardless of the past, I want them to have a future together. Kyoko's own emotions sink faster into dejection as tears well beneath her hazel eyes, a feeling reflected in Naomi's own. Looking towards her, she opens her mouth slowly before beginning to unleash the feelings locked at the depths of her heart.
Please. Is that too much to ask? It's not what you think. Really.
Tears streaming down her reddened cheeks, The light catches them like diamonds as Naomi wipes away this shiny allure. Her skin gloss with a mix of sweat and teardrops, nervousness and sadness pushed into one. As their sentiment tugs on my heartstrings, the scene continues to unfold before my eyes. All I can do is watch the pain and history between two old friends unravel through teardrops and resentment.
You came here to destroy our friendship, didn't you? Just like you did ours.
Didn't.
Can't you just leave me alone?
That's not. I can't.
A flood of tears seep from their faces, their inner feeling unleashed through strained words and sniffles, stray breaths, tight grips, and shaking bodies. The embodiment of sadness itself as Naomi's nails dig into her skin and Kyoko clenches her wrist.
You don't understand!
Set in a flurry of tears, the image of Naomi's sullen face flashes past me as her presence disappears. Nothing but the feeling of hair brushing beside me left against my arm. As her cries begin to dim, the sound of her footsteps as she runs further into the distance. The pain inside my heart continues to grow as the thumping gets harder and harder to bear. I didn't want this to happen. I can't let her be alone, not after all we've been through. I'll be back in a minute. My heart pounding in my chest, the difficulty of the choice evident enough, I leave Kyoko behind. The last image of her tear-soaked face sticking shortly in my mind as I chase after Naomi's pain cries. After all I've gone through with Naomi, the feeling deep inside is enough to tell me what to do, to know I don't want to see her upset. Snippets of classroom doors and windows fly through my vision as I sprint down the corridor, my breathing increasingly strained as I reach the staircase, her wails barely getting any louder. No wonder she's on the track team. Trotting down the stairwell, all I can do is hope I don't lose her. I have to push on. The cool air meeting my now flustered face, the sight of Naomi running in the distance meets my eyes. Her auburn hair flowing as she sprints onwards towards the gym. Cries now settle against the orchestra of nature with a splash of urban cacophony. Naomi! Wait! My call is unheeded. All I can do is chase after her once more as the doors to the gym slam shut. Either nobody's in there, or she's brazen enough to run into the hall crying. The beating of my heart tells me what I must do. Bursting into the gym, space around us echoes back the sound of the door slamming open, the sound of Naomi's cries. We're the only ones here. Slowing to a stop, Naomi bows slightly to catch her breath, one which remains ragged and strained. Naomi.
What do you want?
Sadness seeping through her voice, Naomi turns toward me, cheeks soaked with teardrops as they continue to fall from her ocean eyes. I don't want to see you like this.
It's not like I can help it. It's over. All of it. All I wanted was to get her back. My friends. And now I've made it worse. All I'll ever be. Just the popular girl. The track star. Do you think I want that? All I want is the past. But there's no point anymore.
I don't see you like that. Sniffling once more, Naomi raises her head to meet my own. A look of woe plastered on her face as her eyes point towards me sharply.
What do you see me as?
I see you as a friend. Honestly, how could you not think that? You can't just give up. Not after all we've been through. All you've been through. I'll talk to Kyoko. I'm sure we can convince her. You're my friend. Whether you like it or not.
Really? You see me like that?
Of course. Stepping forward swiftly, the last glimpse of Naomi's face flashes in my mind as I find myself locked between her arms. The warmth of her body now seeping through to my own as she presses herself against me. A hug. Your
You
chest.
think I didn't know that?
Teardrops falling against my shoulders. Naomi's voice crosses the thin gap between her lips and my ears as her hair brushes past my cheeks. Her own still moist as she rests against my neck. The two of us now closer than ever before.
I see you as a friend too. It's been hard for me to say that. But it's true. No jokes this time.
Holding me tightly, her body shakes slightly as with every word. Each trace of nervousness evident as she continues to press against me. The pains of loneliness let out with each and every agonizing breath, her mother crossing my skin as she catches herself in a moment's rest. A gentle heart, yet heavy heartbeats.
Most people, they just want me for my looks, my talents, my anything. Nobody wants me for me.
Isn't that you? You're talented, you're attractive. The fact isn't hard to say, but I guess having her pushing her way against me, her body's locked in an embrace, I can't help but hold my tongue.
That's not who I am. You know that. All I've done is been selfish. Insult you, be mean, but that's not me. That's not what I meant. That's not who I am. But you still stayed by me.
Breaking the clasp of her arms, breaking her embrace, Naomi takes a step backwards, wiping away her tears as her cheeks glisten in the ambient light. A small smile visible through the blinding light, her cheeks peachy against the spring breeze passing through the open doors.
That's why. I'm glad to have you as a friend.
Well. Perking her head upwards, the woe-ridden face at first seen standing before me is nowhere to be found. Instead, contentful azure eyes peer back towards my own, my face barely visible as the reflection of the world glistens with them. I'm glad to have you as a friend too. That's why I stayed, I guess. It wasn't just Kyoko. It wasn't just solving their problems. Despite that challenge still being before us, the reason I stayed was much simpler.
You know, I don't hate you.
I'm pretty sure after that outburst it was kind of apparent.
Well, it's true. I told you, didn't I?
I guess. But if you were to list all of my flaws, you'd have a field day.
Of course. I'm on the field enough as it is. We don't just use the gym, you know? But I don't hate you. Friendship isn't without flaws, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. I've learned that by now. I'd lost sight of who I was by focusing on my own.
But some might see your flawed side as attractive. It's not just about who you see yourself as, you know?
You're right. Anyway, I should probably head home. I need time to think. I'll see you tomorrow.
Turning out towards the doors, part of me feels I should have said something. But as I watch her copper hair swaying gently in the wind as she steps outside, a subtle skip in her step, I can't really see her being that phased. The thought of her smile is still fresh in my mind, her warmth against my body. I can't help but savor the moment as she disappears further into the fading sunlight. A captivating girl, flaunting her beauty as if it were nothing. The reality of her actions is looming over her, a thorn in her everyday life. She can't change her past. Yet, with a heart like hers, she can certainly strive to make up for her mistakes. In doing so, she can move forward towards a brighter future, one with Kyoko, one with me, together. Oh shit, Kyoko. Bursting through the doors of the lab, the sight of Kyoko is the first thing to meet my eyes. Her face still sullen, she sits atop the desk, eyes pointed towards the floor. I look at thoughts, yet similarly one of sadness. Her silky brown hair now flowing down her shoulders, having swapped from her typical sporty look. Seeing her bask in the setting sun, it's hard to muster up any words of consolidation. Kyoko, is it alright for me to come in?
You're a member, after all.
Stepping forward, her crystalled eyes meet my own as I peer towards a sea of chocolate. Sweet, yet somehow still so soured.
You want to know, right? You want to know everything.
That's only if we want to.
I used to be on the athletics team. I was good too, but they wouldn't let me run anymore.
I've heard.
She told you?
Most of it.
I figured. But can't you see why I can't forgive her? Bragging to my friend about how she got me kicked from the team. Do you see how nice that is?
She wasn't bragging.
What was she doing?
She was crying. Taking a step back, Kyoko stares towards me in confusion, taking another breath before I can give her an opportunity to speak. Why would she come back for you? Why would she stand before you? She didn't miss you. I don't know what went on in your lives, how close you two really were. But I sure as hell know that Naomi still wants you in hers. How painful it is for her, for you. This entire evening, evident enough the power that heart has in ambition. My own ambitions having been skewed, all I want in this moment is to achieve the dream Naomi couldn't grasp on her own. I want her to be happy again. She just wanted you to win. Because you were her friend.
You really think so?
her voice strained. Kyoko looks back towards me, eyes sharp. A complete contrast to her usual cute and upbeat allure. Of course I do. Naomi is hurt too. I don't think she can forgive herself either. You're her best friends after all. Finishing her brief pause, she aims her eyes towards me once again, gloss with a hint of teardrops as she slowly parts her quivering, flushed lips.
It might take some time, but I'll try it. I'll try to accept her.
With a sigh of relief, I look back towards Kyoko with a smile. The troubles of the past settled, the lives of these girls now given a slither of opportunity to be set back on path. A path together, forward to the future. Maybe I just want to see Naomi more often too.
I thought you were here to join the science.